welcome to Sarah's Stampin' Retreat. Today we're going to be creating a Mother's Day card, and to do that I'm going to be using this Blooming Delight set from Altenew. So in the set you get this really large stamp set, so you can see that a normal card front doesn't quite fit onto it, but you'd fit the whole thing on a 5x7 card, but I've used it on a 4 1/4 by 5.5 inch card front and just had it coming off the sides a bit. You also get one of these mini blending brushes. You get the dies, and that cuts out the flowers but also has the sentiments as well in 2 parts. And then you also get the stencil set to colour it in, so that comes in 4 different stencils. So recently I've been doing a project where I had to create a whole load of these card fronts. I don't know if you can see it on camera, but I made a mistake on this one. And I also printed a couple, but they misprinted a little bit. So I got a bit of a hair stuck on the stamp, so there's just little lines, so I couldn't use it. So what I decided to do, rather than them going to waste, I'm going to stack them up to help make my Mother's Day card. So I'm going to use this one as the base, and then we're going to layer over the other images. So for this one I'm not going to worry about colouring the leaves, but I will colour this flower and this flower. And then for this one I'm just going to colour this top flower, and then we're going to cut them out and layer them up. So we're going to use the stencils to colour these in. I used the eucalyptus and the forest fern fresh dye inks from Altenew to do these leaves. I won't need to do the leaves in the others. So I'm going to use this one first, and I'm going to find number 1. And so what I love to do when I'm stenciling is to use my Altenew sticky mat. I've taken mine out of my stamp wheel, but they do sell them separately if you don't have a stamp wheel. It just makes it so much easier to keep the stencils in place while you're stenciling. So I'm going to line that up on my card, and I'm going to keep with these colours. So that means I'm going to do Citrus Burst, Fresh Lemon and Maple Yellow for that top flower, and then Pink Diamond, Pinkalicious and Rubelite for these flowers down here. So I'm going to start with the Citrus Burst, and I'm just going to go over the whole of this stencil. And these Altenew brushes tend to be my favourite ones for stenciling because they're quite nice and small, but they're easy to use. And then I'm going to move the stencil, and I'll do this flower here in the Pink Diamond. Then I'm going to pop this one on, and then I'm going to come in with the Fresh Lemon. So we're working from the lightest to darkest. And then we're going to come in down here with Pinkalicious. And then I'm going to go with Rubelite on this one, and the Maple Yellow. And then actually I've decided just to do the green bit of this here. So I don't need the other green parts, but I will do this bit. So I'm going to just pop this on here. And then I'm going to do the eucalyptus first. And then I'll just put on the second layer. I'm going to do the forest fern. And then there are stencils to do these middle bits, but I just want to quickly colour it with an alcohol marker instead. So then I'm going to do the other one. I'm going to do it in exactly the same way. I'm just going to do this top flower, and then I just want this little petal here that sticks out over everything else down here. So then I want to use a navy card blank, so I'm going to go around the base image with this Arctic Mountain marker, and then you won't see the outline as much once I cut it out. It will kind of blend into the cardstock in the background. So now I'm going to use this die to cut this out. Okay, so now I've got that, and you can see that that blends in really nicely with the card front. And so then on this one I want to just cut out this piece, this flower and this flower. And I want to cut those on the lines because they're going to be decoupaged up, so we don't want any white overhang. So now I've got these parts that I've cut out, and I've got this as well. So I'm going to glue this one to the front of my card. And then I'm going to grab some foam pads and pop up the other pieces so that we get our decoupage effect. So basically when you're doing this kind of decoupage, you want to each time leave some of the background behind. So we left the leaves and this flower behind on this one, and then we only did the foremost petals on this one, so that then they layer up nicely. So you can see that looks really three-dimensional now. So then for my sentiment, I've just got an old Happy Mother's Day from Stampin' Up, and I'm just going to heat emboss this in gold onto the navy cardstock. So then I'm just going to add some foam pads to the back of that. So then there's our finished card. I hope if I tip it you can see the dimension to that. So I really hope that you enjoyed today's video. If you did, I'd really appreciate you clicking like below, and you can also press subscribe if you'd like to see future videos. If you press the bell button and select all, then YouTube will also notify you when I've got a new video available. All of the products that I've used for today's cards are listed in the description below, and there's also a link there to my blog where you can find a picture supply list if that helps you find what you're looking for. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope to see you again soon.